Hey guys, if you're watching this video, I had a live earlier where I talked about Plunder and Stephanie Harlow and what was released on Patreon. I decided to upload just what I discussed on the live in this specific video, so it's shorter and you guys can find it and you know where to go. This is edited, so it'll be right to the part where you need to go, where we give commentary to what was released. Shout out to you guys. I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel, and I'll see you guys. About a week ago, Plunder posted on her community wall that she was going to be that she had received a document from the police regarding Stephanie Harlow's estranged husband's death and the circumstances surrounding it, right? I did a video about it. We did a live about it. We talked about it. I kind of asked your guys' opinions about it, what you guys thought, where you guys landed with it. Was it where everybody was at? And it was interesting because half of the people were like, it needs to be exposed, this document. We don't know what's going to happen. And some people were like, no, it doesn't need to be exposed. I was kind of in the fence because I was like, yeah, like it's not a crime, right? Thank you just read my mind, Joey Coucher. You did. Like, it's not a crime, right? Like, she hasn't been charged with anything. She didn't do anything that we know of. So what would be the need to expose it, right? Well, somebody messaged me and said, hey, Plunder released the information on Patreon. So it was released behind the wall. Okay. And she did a whole, it was almost an hour video on this whole situation. On Stephanie Harlow from the time that she met Adam. And she released a video where it shows her on the stairway talking to Adam. And then there's another video where she's being recorded and she's talking how she could really do really bad things to him, right? Legally, something to that effect. But she doesn't want to do that. And a lot of us heard that. I did a video on it. We were talking, we were saying, well, damn, like, are you really like this, right? And a lot of this information was released on Reddit. So I did a video on it. A lot of other creators did. Okay. The divorce happened very public because Adam had leaked information. Some people are like, that's none of your business. And some people are like, well, wait a minute. Like, he released the information. Therefore, it's like public, right? Adam dies. Okay. And horrible situation, horrible circumstance. Plunder makes a post about how she got a PDF file from police, right? Through a FOIA. And she's been praying to God. And so she wanted to get some perspective from the community. Well, I'm sure nobody's surprised, but apparently the community said, release the information that you got. Release the information that you got. Okay. So she does. She does a whole video of it and she puts it behind the paid wall Patreon. Now, I'm not going to drag Plunder for that. And I'm conflicted because I think when Gannon Stout happened, to me, that was a little bit different. This is an adult, not a child. So I think that there's a factor that plays into this. But to be fair, what Plunder got was it's for the public. Anybody can request the records, just like you can of Michael Miller, just like you can of other folks, right? And to clarify, what Plunder posted was not an autopsy report whatsoever. It looks like it was just a written report by law enforcement when they first found Adam, and just basically what the scene looked like and the different things that were playing in interviews that they had done in this report. So there is no autopsy, there are no pictures, and there's no body cam footage. Just to be clear, she does the video and it's an hour long, and the video starts with the 2 videos that Adam had released on Reddit. And Plunder gives a really good timeline of the events, if you didn't follow what was going on. The only issue that I take with Plunder around this time is that she calls this a case. It's a true crime case. And that's kind of where I'm like, no, it's not, because nobody's been charged. That's how I see a true crime case. However, is it a social media of interest? Yeah, I would say so. It's a social media thing that everybody is interested. They want to follow. They want to know what happened. They want to know what's going on, right? What happened to Adam? Because we've seen situations in true crime where, there's a toxic divorce, separation, just like Michael Miller, just like others, and they play out in certain ways. And then people want to, pull documents, report it. They go on Facebook, they go in different areas to pull information, right? So she does this little video giving us a timeline. One of the things that I did not know that I learned in this Plunder timeline was that Stephanie had like another YouTube channel where it was like a family YouTube channel. And then it was like, or not a family, but like, not like a vlog, family vlog, but like a channel where she was just uploading pictures, kind of like you would in any social media account, right? And then you had Stephanie's account, right? And essentially she was doing like crime and makeup. And I don't know about you guys, but that seems to be the theme with a lot of creators like Bailey Sarian, they do kind of like the makeup and the crime, like they're talking about crime stories while they're doing makeup. I guess there was some of that before some of the changes to the channel. And then she gets to the part where, well, I'm going to tell you guys what this death declaration document says, okay? And she doesn't show the document, but she shows screenshots of the document and basically reads out the document. This man was struggling, y'all. Like, he was struggling. I don't think she was lying about anything, as much as people want to make her out to be like she might have had something to do with him. No, the report itself, she wasn't even there when all of this went down. Okay. And I'm sorry, but like he made her out to be like this person that was like cheating on him and stuff like that, when he also got a friend with benefits that was around that time when the situation happened. So what I'm saying to you guys is like, it gave me a different perspective of like, oh shit, like he had already had like a couple car accidents before, his death. The man was struggling. Okay. If I had children with somebody like that, right? I would want my kids to be safe. You know what I mean? To me, he was doing things that have led up to what happened, if that makes sense. He was found, okay, in his where he stays at. Anything like that, nobody was with him. There was nothing like that, okay? That's what happened. He was struggling and he showed it. When he was going on Reddit, being erratic, saying all kinds of shit, you guys, that's what was going on. This was truly, I don't think he wanted to do anything to himself, but this is what happened. It makes sense now why Stephanie said what she said, and she put a bunch of links in the description box. One thing Stephanie didn't say was all the stuff that he was trying. I mean, she just put, links. Like, if anybody needs help, this is what happened. He did pass away, yada, yada, yada. Like, that's what happened, right? To say, if you're in a marriage that you don't want to be in anymore, and your partner is struggling with substances, who said that you had to stay there and live through that? Who said that that's what you had to do? And I sympathize with that. Imagine that. You're in a relationship. You're not perfect. You might have stepped out of your marriage, whatever it might have been, whatever the situation might have been, right? But I think it was both to a certain degree based on how this report was written and the different players and things, right? If you are with your partner so many years, your partner struggles with substances, and say you fall out of love, say it's not the same anymore, say you don't feel safe, say it's not right anymore. You stay there? You just happen to be a public figure on YouTube, but you would stay there? You would stay there when you want to get out, you're not happy, and you're like have moved on with your life to a certain degree, you would stay there? Now, I want to take a moment here and just interject something, okay? Because there are many people in such situations that don't have the opportunity to leave and that they have to stay there, right? And I think we have to acknowledge that. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's the children, sometimes it be different things. Sometimes it's manipulation, sometimes it's lack of resources, right? So I wanted to add this piece of my thoughts on this clip. But then he puts your business out there, your and your children's business out there on Reddit. So now everything's turned on you, right? The things that, because they both created. He was on YouTube with her too, right? But I'm not going to say like we don't know that. Like, there is no investigation. The death report is out there. I definitely sympathize for her. Like, I understand, because you have to put yourself as a woman with children, y'all. Put yourselves in that situation. Okay, I get it. Y'all are like her. Some of you guys like her and some of you guys don't like her. But to completely conclude that she had something to do with this, that's just wrong. And let me just say this for Plunder. I think Plunder, it wasn't necessary for her to release this. No, it wasn't necessary. She didn't have to do that. But she did. I think she did. She gave an unbiased reporting, believe it or not. And at the very end of her commentary to what happened in her report, because she reviewed it, okay? And she only showed screenshots. She didn't just put the document on Patreon for everybody to take it. Because, I mean, she knew that somebody was going to leak it, right? Somebody was going to talk. I had been investigating Stephanie and Adam, whose names are not that, by the way, for quite some time, while the toxic divorce was happening. She had been investigating. So she had already been looking at this. And she says, I was following it, and then he dies. And she says, I've never had anybody that I've been following go through a toxic divorce to then have them die. At least one person. Right? And then have it all play out, everything, and things are getting leaked, and he's over here on Reddit and different things are happening, right? She said, I've never had anything like that happen. So she got curious and she starts looking into it. That's what she did. She says, I didn't know there's body cam footage, but she wasn't able to order that. Okay. And by the way, the way she did it, she wasn't like salacious about what happened. She wasn't like, what's the word? She was not salacious about what happened. Lead on to like, she did this. No, she reported on the things as they were. To me, in my opinion, I thought was, well, if she had to do it, I think she did it well, right? But at the same time, that's the question is, did you have to do it? And her argument was, well, we're all YouTubers. Anybody can have a report pull on them. We do it on Micah Miller. We do it on different people all the time, right? And so that has been the sentiment of a lot of folks in the community of like, well, wait a minute. Like if it's public information and she's a public figure, but not only that, like we cover stories of non-public figures all the time that become public because of the circumstances that they're in. So it becomes kind of that thing where it's like, well, damn, okay, where do we go from here? What do we do? Right. So she decides to release it. She gives a nice little timeline, and then she leads to like this death report, right? That she got from the police. And basically that's what it is. The man was struggling with substances. He was found, I believe 3 days later. Nobody should be blaming Stephanie for the things and the decisions and the choices that he made. Nobody should be. I don't want to hear anybody saying that they blame, because y'all don't know. That's not what the report says. Don't do that. It's the worst thing you could do to a person without really knowing like that you're blaming somebody for their death. You know what I mean? It is important to look at all sides. I thought Plunder did a really good job in breaking it down. I thought she did a pretty good job. And if she had to report, which she did, she reported on it. Was it necessary for her to report on it? No, it wasn't. But I thought she did a really good job. And I think that what it told me was that you don't know what people are dealing in the quiet of their home. Does that make sense? Like we don't know what she was dealing with. And that's really the message here is you really don't know what people are dealing with in the quiet of their home, right? Both men and women. I'm going to leave some links for you guys to check out, especially SAMHSA, these substance abuse and mental health services, which the mission is to lead public health and service delivery efforts and promote mental prevention of substance misuse and provide treatment and support. If you or anybody else is struggling, make sure you guys are reaching out for help. And if you find yourself in a situation, just know that there's hope out there. I'll see you guys on the next one.